Hi everyone, today's haul is going to be a doozy. So I filmed my December haul early in December because I was heading off to Wisconsin and I was waiting for packages to show up. So they've showed up, I bought stuff in Wisconsin, I've been to Imats LA, and then I bought a few more launches. I think this is probably going to be my biggest haul to date. So buckle in, because it's gonna be a long one. Okay, so the first thing I got, I actually bought back in August when it was launched, and that's the Faced Clover palette. I had to have it shipped to my in-laws in Wisconsin because the shipping to Canada from the tofaced.com website is kind of high, and I didn't really want to deal with customs and all that, and I knew we were going there over Christmas vacation, so I just had it shipped there. I'm really excited about this palette, not only because it is cute for packaging, but I have to say I think that this is one of the most bright palettes that Too Faced has put out, and I'm really excited to play with shades that are a little bit different for them. Sure, there's some pinks in there that are pretty typical for the brand, but I don't think I've ever seen them do a yellow like that. Maybe not a blue quite like that. This green is quite nice, although a little bit similar perhaps to the Too Faced White Chocolate Bar palette. Overall, I'm just really excited to play with something that's got so much color in it, and there's plenty of blending shades in there that are gonna work out well. So I'm excited to finally have my hands on it because I bought it like 2 months ago. So now I can finally dive into this one. Oh yeah, this was a tofaced.com exclusive, and I think it's still listed that way on their website, but you can't actually buy this at Ulta now. It is available online, but I think you can get it in some stores. So when I was in Wisconsin, I saw a lot of really good deals on Real Techniques brushes, and many of you will know that they make my absolute favorite brushes. So I just decided to pick up a whole bunch of them because they actually were, I think, half off. So one of the sets that I got is this Eye Smudge and Diffuse set. These are pretty teeny tiny brushes, but I really like that for small work around like the inner corner of my eye or along my lower lash line, and I don't actually own any of this size by Real Techniques, so I wanted to give this a try. And really, I think it was like $7. Like the deals were really good, and I might have gotten this at CVS. The next set was from CVS, and that is one of their limited edition holiday sets with these beautiful gradient handles. I think they are gorgeous. Now, in hindsight, I'm looking at this going, why did I pick this up? Because I don't necessarily use a brush like that all the time. But I was definitely drawn in by the fact that I love Real Techniques, and these brush handles are so gorgeous. So curious to try these out. There is one in here that I use all the time, so I know I'm gonna make use out of these. And again, I think this was like 15 bucks, which is a great deal because it says that it was $30, but I swear I paid half. One of the best things that I got though was from Ulta, and I've already taken it out of the package, which is why it's looking a little bit beaten up. It's a protective travel case specifically designed for the Real Techniques sponge. So it fits the size of the sponge if it's engorged with water, which is great because you don't want to be dealing with trying to jam it in there and smushing it down. And it pops open, so you've got two sides, and it's got little ventilation areas where the logo is so that air can escape and dry out your sponge if you happen to be traveling with it while it's still wet. For years, I've been traveling with my Real Techniques sponge either in a Ziploc bag or just like loose in my makeup brushes, and it's just kind of gross. So I am so happy to have this traveling case. I took it with me to Los Angeles, which I just got back from, and it was fantastic. It never once popped open. I just think it's the best thing ever. And this package actually came with a sponge in there too, but I've already broken into that. So I'm just showing you this the case because this thing is worth buying if you're very loyal to your Real Techniques sponge like I am. Some of you may be aware that MAC has recently pulled all of their real hair brushes from their lineup and replaced them with synthetic brushes. And I haven't tried those yet, but there are two real hair brushes from MAC's lineup that I love tremendously and don't want to be without. So David bought me two brushes for Christmas that I am in love with, and they are the MAC 239 and the MAC 217 brushes. Now, it's funny to me because these look totally different than my current brushes do. But I think it's just because I've used them so much that the wear and tear is starting to show. Like my MAC 239 that I own is like almost half the height of this, so I think a lot of hairs have actually shed off of it. And this 217 is way fluffier than mine is, which is a little bit funny to me. And originally when he, gave this to me for Christmas, I was like, you bought the wrong brushes, like this doesn't look right. And then I looked them up online and I'm like, oh no, you've just like seriously used and abused your own brushes for years and they've kind of shed a little bit. So I think these are going to be the last real hair brushes that I have by MAC just because they've completely replaced their lineup. So I'm excited to have these, but yeah, I wonder how the new ones are going to work out in comparison to these ones. So also in December, I placed a drunken late night order to Inglot and picked up a ton of items. And I actually got a duplicate of one because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. But it's been a long time since I placed an Inglot order, and I just, you know, decided, hey, I want to try some new stuff. So Inglot recently released some intense sparkler highlighters. They are for face, eyes, and body. And I just wanted to try them out because I don't actually think I own a highlighter by Inglot. And the collection was predominantly typical highlighters, I guess you could say. And I just wanted to try something a little bit different. So I grabbed this shade, which is kind of like a pewter, but I see like bits of gold and green in there as well. This is the shade number 11, which Inglot doesn't name their products. They only have numbers, which kind of drives me crazy. So this is number 11. And it's beautiful. I haven't tried it yet because I was waiting for this haul so I could show it to you in a pristine condition, but man, I cannot wait to dive into this product. And then I picked up a few of their HD lip tint mattes just because I only have one shade and it's a beautiful red, but it's not always necessarily a color that I reach for, more like during the holiday season. And it's wonderful to wear. It is so comfortable, but I wanted a few more shades. So I picked up 2 shades, and one is more typically me. It's kind of like a warmer coral. It's number 11 again. And then I also picked up more of a kind of a warm, deep rose, I guess you could say, and this is shade number 13. I did look at swatches of them online before I bought them because the color swatch on the website doesn't necessarily represent what it's going to look on people's lips, and these seem to be the prettiest, so I can't wait to try these ones out. And then I got a ton of pigments because one of my regular viewers, Dominica, has been recommending them to me for years, and I have 3 shades, I think, but they're pretty common shades, and I wanted something a little bit more vibrant, so I just picked up 5 of them. So these pigments are actually referred to as their AMC Pure Pigment eyeshadows. They come in a loose container jar like this. You screw off the top and it's quite powdery and quite like poofy. So I'm probably gonna end up pressing these into eyeshadow pans because I cannot deal with pigment powder going everywhere. I do have a video on how to press pigments that I just recently put up, so I will link that down below so that you can take a look if you want to do that with your pigments. But so this one is shade number 114. Beautiful, like aquamarine blue. Ugh, super stunning. And then I have shade number 122 here, which is kind of like a green purple. Again, absolutely beautiful. Oh, hi Nemo. Then I have shade number 85, which is kind of like that blue brown pigment you kind of see everywhere. I accidentally ordered 2 of these. Had a few drinks and accidentally put 2 of these in my cart because I thought it was so pretty. I must have doubled up on it by accident. So I've thrown one of these in my giveaway pile, and that'll be coming up in a giveaway at some point. I've got 120 here, which is kind of like a rusty purple gold. It's like a trichrome, I guess you could say. Again, another stunning color. And the last one I have here is like otherworldly to me. It's a lavender with rust and lilac and gold in it. This is number 112. I am so glad that I finally spent the money on buying some Inglot pigments because I always tend to buy their eyeshadows and I love them, but it's kind of like get outside of your box a little bit. By the way, if you are interested in trying out Inglot products, I do actually have a referral code for Inglot Canada, so you can get some money off on your purchases both online and in store. I always have it listed in the description bar down below, but I don't always mention it because I don't necessarily want to keep like throwing that information at you, but you can check the description bar, look for the code, and you can enter that in online or mention it in stores and you can get some money off. It is a referral code. I do get some money back if you use it, but if you're uncomfortable with that, don't use it. But clearly I've been loving Inglot for a very long time, so I hope you get to try it, and if you want to get some money off, might as well use the code. Okay, moving on to the Los Angeles part of this haul. The first item is something that I have been hunting for absolute years. I used to watch Julie G on YouTube religiously, and she always spoke so highly of the Jessie's Girl waterproof liquid eyeliner. Now, Jessie's Girl is very difficult to find in the US. It is only available at Rite Aids and only at certain Rite Aids. So I've been hunting for this thing for like half a decade, maybe longer, and I finally found it because usually the display is empty. And originally I thought that this display had none of them left, but we dug behind it and we finally discovered there was 1 or 2 left. So I snatched this thing up and I am so excited to use this because this is a pen style liquid liner with a brush tip. So I am really excited to give this a go. I've got a few other eyeliners to get through before it, but I could not resist picking this up since it's kind of felt like it's the one item I would never find while in the US. And speaking of Julie G, who recommended this product to her viewers, she has had a nail polish range produced by Jessie's Girl for 7 years, I want to say. It's been a very long time. And she's one of the first YouTubers, I think, that had a range of products that was available before collabing became like the norm. So I always try to pick up one or two of her nail polishes whenever I'm in the US, just because I feel good about supporting her and the content that she's been producing. Now, she doesn't upload as much lately, but I still feel that kind of like connection to her products. So I picked up one of the nail polishes from her range. I don't even know if it's a new shade. It's called Fierce and Fab, and it is beautiful. This color is so stunning, but I do have to say it does go on the nails a little bit darker than it appears here. It's not quite so saturated of a neon, but man, this thing is stunning. So of course, one of our stops was at Ulta, and one of the things that I definitely had to pick up was more cotton rounds because I just not brought enough with me on vacation. So I think Julie found these and she handed them to me because she knew I needed them. And they are the Ulta Beauty 100 Premium Pillow Cotton Pads. And I do not recommend these. It's actually funny because the reason that I don't recommend these is because they are too absorbent and they're too well built. These are almost as thick as like a menstruation pad and it just absorbs too much of the product that you're using. So if I'm putting makeup remover on here or Bioderma's Micelle Solution, it needs too much product to go into the cotton pad, and it's just kind of like a waste. So it's unfortunate, but I would not recommend these just because they are too absorbent. I'll use them up, but it's just kind of funny that something is so well built that I don't want it. At Ulta, I noticed a huge display of the Stila Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow, so there was no way I was gonna resist it. I got two shades here. One is Sea Siren, which I believe was part of their mermaid collection that came out a little while ago, but that sold out so fast in Canada that I just never got my hands on it. So this shade is like a pink, purple, blue duochrome. Absolutely gorgeous. This is listed as their Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow, but I do think that it's more of a shimmer. Yeah, that's more of a shimmer finish than it is a glittery one. And the other one I got is called Gypsy, and this one is brand new, and the color is absolutely unreal. It's kind of like a mirror ball effect, like it's kind of like a pewter silver, but with shots of color in it, like teal and purple. So pretty. Oh man, just even swatching it out is making me happy. So that's the two colors side by side. Oh man, these are glorious. I also got a face mask because Julie pointed out that this had an otter face on it. So this is one of those character masks, so you put it on and you're supposed to look like the animal that it is. I can't say that this is the cutest otter I've ever seen in my life, but I got suckered in by the fact that it is an otter face and I'm kind of obsessed with otters, so got one of those. And the last item I have is actually from a drugstore, and it was a total like, how the heck did we find this thing? So one of my favorite chapsticks at the drugstore is the pumpkin pie one put out by Chapstick brand. And they can be pretty hard to find outside of like Thanksgiving time. Julie spotted these at the cash and she grabbed two of them for me, and I was so excited. I just really like pumpkin pie lip balm. And finally, we can move on to what I picked up at Imats. So Imats LA was a lot of fun, very well organized. I was so happy to see that. I've been to Imats New York and Imats Toronto, and Imats LA was definitely the best handled one. So I got a ton of stuff, as you would expect. I'm just gonna grab whatever's in the bag. Didn't actually buy anything at Sigma Beauty, but they were handing out the shader lid travel brush, so snag that. I got a brush from Royal and Langnickel because I thought it was very similar to the MAC 217 brush, and you know, just wanted to give it a shot. I'm not usually somebody who buys brushes, but for whatever reason I seem to have bought quite a few this past month. Yes, so excited to have this. This is the Violet Voss hashtag palette. This is actually available on Sephora Canada, which is a little bit of a surprise because I never really thought that Violet Voss would be available at Sephora. This was like one of the #1 items that was on my list to pick up, provided it was under a certain price point, because in Canada this is 60 Canadian and I didn't want to be spending more than that at an Imats. I think it broke out to just about even, however, because I think we paid $45 American for this. So this is the palette, and you're gonna see why I love it so much. Just look at these colors. How pretty is that? All these purples, all these warm rust colors, and then a whole range of mattes up there. This palette is gorgeous. So I'm really happy to have this. I am so glad that it did not break in transit. This is the first time I'm opening it. I'm really, really excited to play around with this one. Ah yes, the Color Switch by Veromona. This was also on my list to buy. So what this is kind of like an instant brush cleaner, but without any, like, I guess there's no wet product in here. It basically looks like a piece of foam that you run your brush in after you've applied eyeshadow, and it removes the color. People swear by this thing, and I've just never tried it, so I'm excited to have one of these. More brushes. So at the last Imats that I went to, I think it was Toronto, I picked up some of the Royal and Langnickel Super Crease brushes. And I kind of laughed to myself because I was like, what do I need these for? These are the best crease brushes I have tried. They're actually beating out my Real Techniques one, which is slightly shocking to me. So this is part of their MODA range, and it's the M18 brush. So I picked up 2 of them because I think they were only $5 each. These are incredible. So freaking good at putting color right through your crease and buffing it out nicely. Royal and Langnickel also threw in this other brush that they make. This is one of their fan brushes, which actually I don't own a fan brush, so that's great. And it's just got like a gradient handle, which is beautiful. The next item, 2 Stila liquid glitters. Are you surprised? I love these things. I couldn't say no to them either because they were $12. Like, what was I gonna do? Just say no? I want all the shades, so I might as well pick them up when they're cheaper. So this one is the shade Gold Goddess, beautiful gold color as you would expect. And the other one is Into the Blue, which I had actually looked at Ulta, and then I ultimately just decided, no, you're buying too much as it is, but at half price, I wasn't gonna say no. This was also part of the Mermaid collection, and it's a purple with a very strong blue base. So beautiful. And then I also grabbed one of these small baby Bioderma Micelle Solutions. I really like traveling with the smaller size, but it's infuriating to me because you can't actually get the top off of these. So I end up having to buy a new one every time I want to bring one after I finish the last one up. Bioderma, please just make these tops removable. I can fill it with your product from a bigger bottle. Just don't make me keep buying these baby ones. That being said, these are really, really good for travel, so I do keep purchasing them. We were also gifted one of these liquid lipstick minis by Kat Von D. They were a huge sponsor for the event. This whole bag is a Kat Von D bag, but I've already got it. It's Lovecraft, so I'm just gonna throw that in my giveaway drawer. Alongside the Sigma mini brush that they were handing out, we also got a liquid brush cleanser, just one of those foil packets. I was originally not going to stop at Sugarpill just because I've already got a ton of their products at this point and I didn't figure I needed any, but towards the end of the day I started swatching items and I was just like, I can't leave without you. So I got this beautiful rust dark red called Kiss Kiss. It's an eyeshadow. Oh man, this thing swatched like butter. I am so excited to put that in my palette and put that all over my eyes. And then I also grabbed Kimchi, which is after the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race, and it's a stunning blue shade, absolutely beautiful. And lastly, I grabbed a nail polish by them, and I wasn't really familiar with their nail polishes because it's not what I tend to go for, but it's a holographic silver polish, and this is what I always put on my toenails, and they were selling them for $2, so I was like, yep, give me one. I will take it home with me. And the very last item I have in the Imats portion of this haul is the Pinky Rose Bright Lights palette. Now, I had seen this on Instagram and I was like, I need to get you. And I was so happy to discover that they were going to be at Imats LA because I didn't really want to pay for shipping because again, shipping to Canada is not a pretty sight. It's just not fun, especially with customs on top of it. So they had them at LA Imats and I like ran there. That was my first booth that I wanted to go to. And you're gonna be able to see why. Oh, does that not just make you happy? Look at these beautiful, beautiful colors. So this palette is a bit of a mix of formulas. Most of them are matte, but there are 2 shimmer shadows. And then these ones right here are glittery. And I don't really know how they're gonna play out. I don't know if it's like a grease base, which may not stick to my lids, but oh man, I'm so excited by this palette. I'm so glad to finally own it because I've been like lusting over on Instagram for several months now and I was like, when can I have it? got it now. Okay guys, last two items. I am so sick of talking, my voice is actually starting to go a little bit hoarse. The Too Faced White Peach palette came out while I was on vacation in LA, and I ordered it the day that it came out. So I snapped that puppy up and it was waiting for me when I got home from vacation. It's kind of funny to me that the timing of this palette is not far off from the white chocolate bar palette. Doesn't really matter, I was gonna buy it anyway. So it's a bit more of a paler peach palette. It is not all matte like the previous Just Peachy palette was. There is more of a range of finishes in here. I see some shimmers in here, some satins. I think there might be a few mattes. I am a little bit worried about this being so pale. These are the only two dark shades that I really see. But of course, I'm a Too Faced sucker and I cannot wait to play with it. I'm sure I'm gonna have fun with it like I do with all of their products. So in that order of the Too Faced White Peach palette, I also ordered my birthday gift because my birthday was last week. And this year's reward for your birthday is the Bite Beauty set, which I think is great because Bite makes fantastic products. So you get one of their high pigment pencils in here, it's a mini, as well as a mini lipstick. And you get one of those small like foil packet sample sizes of their agave lip. I always want to call it a mask, but it's just a lip balm. That stuff's incredible. So I think this is a great gift. I think the colors are a little bit tame, which is funny because I've seen a few people claiming that the shades are too dark, but we're all gonna have opinions on that, aren't we? Okay, that's it. That's everything that I've purchased in roughly the last month. I am so excited to start playing with this stuff. Once I film the haul, I put it all in the bedroom and then I get to have my fun time with them. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this incredibly long haul and I will catch you next time. Bye.